The reason I'm making this video is because I forgot to say something in the earlier Junaid journal. Basically, I forgot to add something in there. The fact that Junaid might try to claim that, oh, I paid for his car insurance, when in fact that's not true. What happened was my sister and I made a deal where every time she would go out of town for work, or I would have to take care of her pets because she was out on vacation or something of that sort of nature, and along with the fact that I had to pick and drop my mother off from her house to and back, and she didn't pay for my gas. The way it worked is, instead of paying me for gas every single time I went to go pick up my mother, or paying me every single time I took care of her cats when she was out, or her kids, pick and drop them every time she left home for work. Basically what she did was she paid $30 for my car insurance and $25 for my cell phone bill a month, and that way she wouldn't have to keep paying me everything for the remaining things. Like, she wouldn't have to pay every time I would pick and drop my mother off. She wouldn't have to pay half of the gas payment amount, and so that she wouldn't have to pay for me taking care of her pets or her kids every time she would leave town. So these are excuses that Junaid might try to make, but that's not true. He's not paying for anything. Basically, it's my sister is paying for those things in exchange from her house budget, in exchange for me taking care of her house, not charging her half of the gas money for picking and dropping my mother off because my mother babysits her kids, and not charging her for taking care of her kids every time she leaves town, and not charging her for these things. My sister for a while paid $30 for my car insurance and $25 for my cell phone bill, so that she wouldn't have to pay half of the gas amount every single time I picked and dropped my mother off, or she wouldn't have to pay me every single time I had to pick and drop her kids off from school, or do any of those things, so that she just paid me once a month, and that pretty much just covered over it. Even if it didn't, I didn't really mind it much. I just put in my own money. So that's how it worked. It was a deal between me and my sister. He has nothing to do with it. It's from my sister and her house budget, paying for me, taking care of her kids. Obviously, it would even have to do it when Junaid wouldn't be at home and he'd be at work and not be able to come back at home, and my sister would text me and she would be like, can you go pick them up? So basically, yeah, taking care of her house, and she would pay $30 for my car insurance for a while and $25 for my cell phone bill, but she only pays for my cell phone bill now. I pay the rest for whatever the gas amount is, or whatever the things is that I need to take care of for her. So yeah, I had to clear that out so that he doesn't try to make up excuses for breaking my car, my Fire Stick for my TV, my charging outlet, threatening to basically take oil out of my car numerous times in the last week. And he has been he's basically been threatening to take oil out of my car over and over again in the last week or so, and it's not just once or twice, it's for a very long time. So this is July 19, 9:23 a.m., and this is Jiffy Lube commercial, basically saying we're going to take oil out of your car if you don't help us scam the girls. July 19, 1:06 p.m., and this is basically Pep Boys, we're going to break your car. And excuse me, July 19, 1:07 p.m. This is basically Pep Boys, basically saying once again that they're gonna break my car if I don't like go and try to help them scam the girls. This is also this is July 17, 7:33 a.m., and this is Safe Light, basically saying we're gonna break your windshield. And the person that they wanted me to scam, 7:35 p.m., was basically the person who represents this name, Moana. And the reason I knew this was 7:36 p.m., July 17. This is Junaid Saravi, because he uses this lotion, basically saying you have to try to get this girl to go with him because she's interested in you. I have enough problems in my life right now. I'm not going to go after any of these girls, mainly because after my brain surgery, I don't need to. after my brain salon gets freed, I'm going to use it and get married. I don't need to go try to scam anyone's daughter right now. And why would I? Like, seriously, I'm not doing that. Like, no way. So basically, yeah. My sister doesn't pay for my car insurance. She hasn't been for like a year or so. But when my sister did, she used to pay $30 for my car insurance and $25 for my cell phone bill. And that was in exchange for a deal that I made with my sister where I would pick and drop my mother off every single weekend. And my sister would basically not give me gas money for that. And then I would pick and drop her kids off every time she was out of town for work. Even when Jeanette would be out of town for work or whatever, I would pick and drop her kids off, and then also take care of her house every time she would be out of town on vacation. It has nothing to do with anyone paying anything. She would take it out of the house budget because she wasn't paying me for half the amount for the gas money. So that's basically what it was, and there's absolutely no excuse for these threats that are basically coming because he's getting police threatened on him. And the thing about my sister is, it was a deal between me and my sister that we both made together. Because I didn't want to keep charging her for half of the gas and things of that sort of nature. Because I would take my car, obviously, and pick and drop my mother off, and I wouldn't charge her for gas, like half the gas or whatever. So she'd just pay $30 for my car insurance, which she did for a while. I don't need her to do so anymore, and I don't think she's done for the past year or so. She hasn't been, and it's just me paying for my own car insurance. But she just pays $25 for my cell phone bill in exchange for me picking and dropping my mother off every weekend and not charging her gas money or half of it or whatever. But yeah, that was the deal that I made with my sister. He has nothing to do with it. But yeah, I had to let everyone know because there's absolutely no excuse for sending these threats in exchange due to me not scamming these girls, sleeping with them, and then basically spreading them around. I mean, you have to imagine yourself as being the parent of these girls. Your daughter is vulnerable. She left her house. Maybe she's living alone because of some family problems she might have, you know, like a lot of girls, like I had family problems. I used to live alone at a mosque at one time to give my pharmacy school finals. You know, I was abused by my stepmother a lot, and like law enforcement is a witness to this. She'd add acid to my clothes and like puncture holes in my clothes and like not give me any food, and like she'd just give me the food that was like left over for like serfs. And yeah. And like when I was living inside of a mosque and I was giving my pharmacy school finals, like these psychos that know about it right now, if they found out about my brain savant at that time, it would have been really bad. You know, they would have been, Farrah the Greedy Framer would have been narrating in my trial, and at the same time she'd be sending me like almost these pictures of her daughter and being like, which one of my daughter are you gonna marry? And you know, like a person in my position, you gotta imagine yourself in my position. I would obviously say, like, you gotta wait a minute, because my brain savant has to get freed, and I have to use it, and then I have to get my thing done first. I have to use at least 1 month of using my brain savant, and then I get married. You know, like these things where people are just like, which one to pick a daughter of mine. That's not right. You know, and yeah, so yeah. So that's all I had to say, but it's just, you know, it's just really wrong. And when I was living inside of a mosque, you know, and if someone tried to do this with me, it would have been terrible. And it's like men become prey for money, women become prey for sex. If they're pretty enough and the guy has the potential for making money, you know, they become prey for money. And these people are predators. They're like lottery ticket winner predators, you know, and it's just wrong, you know. And when I was living inside of a mosque and someone like Farrah the Greedy Framer was sending me this then, and she was like, pick a daughter of mine, and yeah, like, what if she was sending me this when I was living inside of a mosque? Like, and then she was just like, pick a daughter of mine, and then I would just be confused. Like, lady, my brain savant's not free right now. You're acting like a predator, and like, yeah, like, same exact thing right now. They don't know why this girl is living alone, what her history is, what kind of abuses she's gone through. Like, people go through abuses in this world. People don't have perfect lives, you know? Like, yeah, and they just want me to go and try to, like, scam someone's daughter or something like that. And, like, one of these people is a drug addict. Like, if he gives her drugs and, like, her dad is, like, crying tears to me, like, a few years later, like, my daughter used to be alive and you sent a drug addict there, she started doing it, now she's dead. Like, what am I supposed to do? You know, I'm not doing this. Like, everyone has a history. Just because she looks pretty doesn't mean, like, she doesn't have a history in life. She could have a history in life. It could be bad. You don't know why she's living alone. And when I was living around in the mosque, if these predators, these lottery ticket winner predators knew about my brain savant at that time, it would have been really bad for me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I would have lasted that long. Like, because right now the pressure's pretty high. And yeah, pressure is pretty high. All these psychos out there. Miss Deb is advertising her husband to me. Last time was like yesterday, I think, or the day before yesterday at least. And her daughter's married, happily married. Like, if these predators were harassing me when I was sleeping inside of a mosque because I was abused by my stepmother, it would have been really bad for me, you know? Like, I don't think I would have lasted that long. And right now they want me to go scam someone's daughter who knows what her history is. People don't tell people. You know, I was going to school. I was giving my pharmacy school finals. You know how many of those people that I went and gave my exams with knew about my history or why I was sleeping in the mosque? Zero. How many of those people I told about the abuses I went through with my stepmother? Zero. You don't know what tells anyone this stuff. You know, law enforcement knows because they were watching, but you don't know what these people's story is. Like, they're just threatening me all day, night long. Like, are you gonna help us scam these girls for sex? Like, no, I'm not. Like, no, I'm not. One of the guys that they want me to send her to is a drug addict, and like, all I think of, like, whenever I think of that is like the Apology Girl episode from Breaking Bad. Like, I mean, I understand it's like shows are not something that you want to talk about, but it's a pretty sad episode. I'm not gonna lie. The guy was a junkie and he got his daughter killed, basically, doing drugs. Yeah, and I'm not doing this, okay? Someone else's daughter there, okay? I don't want anyone dead, okay? Yeah, I'm not doing this. Like, everyone has a history, people don't tell it. That's the truth about life. People don't tell their history. It's usually like, it's usually pretty bad. Like, why this girl's living alone. Obviously she'd be living alone, which is why she's vulnerable. She was living with her dad. He'd beat the living crap out of these guys, like Junaid and Ibrahim, the greedy framer drug addict. And these people in law enforcement wouldn't have police called on them. Trust me on that. Like, the lane outside, I can show you right now, it's totally empty. No one's gonna drive by right now because they're humiliated and embarrassed. The only people are like, are people dropping off someone from work. Like, if these girls were living with their parents, these guys wouldn't, Junaid and these guys wouldn't, like, they wouldn't dare go near her. Her dad would beat the living crap out of them. Like, who the heck do you think you are, you psycho? Leave my daughter alone. Like, she said she's not interested. And like, every single day they go and beg her until she threatens to call the police. Like, no means no. She said no. You know, I'm not scamming someone's daughter. Like, yeah, this is just wrong. I'm not doing this. Threaten me all you want. I'm not doing this. And yeah, you don't know what someone's history is. And these people are acting like predators for sex. Like, girls that are pretty they're becoming easy prey. Or a guy who is, has the potential for making money becomes easy prey. Like, look at what Fur the Greedy Framer sent me with the 2 daughters of hers, only because the brain savant test from June 24th was overanalyzed. And even Ibrahim, the Greedy Framer spokesperson drug addict, July 18, 3 days ago, starts advertising his sister to me. Yeah. These people are extremely greedy, but they're money predators, basically. And if I was going through this when I was sleeping inside of a mosque, I wouldn't last that long. I'm not gonna lie. It was a pretty bad time. And right now they want me to go scam someone's daughter, and I'm straight out. I don't need to do this. Trust me on that. When my brain salon gets freed, I'll go get married. I really don't need to do this, and I'm not going to. So yeah, there's my answer, and no excuses for this behavior. This is illegal. What anyone of law enforcement's BFF said around me when I was a child, that was not illegal for me. It was illegal for that adult who said it, other adults who would be there. My mother would not be there. She was working at fast food restaurants. She would not be there. It would be that adult who said it and the people that knew about it. Guaranteed, obviously, law enforcement knew about it. They never cared a thing. The next video is going to be about Bushra Akhtar and Assad's dad. Both of those people are criminals. The entire time I was working hard with my mother, my mother's promise fulfilled, never seen in any settings, these people, both of them, Bushra Akhtar and Assad's dad, present in every scene, setting, committing crimes, and I wasn't. And my mother made sure I wasn't. She fulfilled her promise, and law enforcement's witness to the fact that she did. And I'm going to talk about that the next video I make. Yeah, thank you.